Hello YouTube, party people. It's FlowForge here. Figured I'd try something a little bit different for the content today. I do apologize for the camera quality and the audio quality. It's not going to be very good, just because this is a pretty old phone. But we're working with what we got here. Today I want to give you my idea of the ADHD survival guide. All the things you actually need to know about ADHD, because it's come to my realization that a lot of you don't actually really know what ADHD is. There's so many people with ADHD who are just living through life, coasting along, and they don't even know what it is. Like, they're just like, oh yeah, I think I'm kind of inattentive, or I forget things sometimes. Like, that's what they think ADHD is. And it's so much more than that. It's so much more. Like, if you understand your ADHD, all of a sudden, your entire life starts to make sense. So I'm here to talk about ADHD and specifically how to manage it, how to survive with it, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, how to exploit it and become immensely productive and outwork your neurotypical peers. So let's just hop right into it, shall we? The first thing you need to know is that discipline and ADHD almost inherently don't mix. So I know you want to be that cool discipline bro, the like whole dark and mysterious, like successful billionaire, and it's like, that's not going to work for you, man. I've been there, trust me, it doesn't work. You are not going to be doing XYZ, all these different things every single day. You are not going to be working out at 4 in the morning. You are not going to be, like, you're not doing that, okay? So just stop, take that fantasy, realize that it's a fantasy, put it out of your way, and then I'm going to teach you how to own who you really are and own your ADHD so you can find real fulfillment. So my first tip for you is this: keep it fun. Okay? Having ADHD can be very fun. We're known to have very offbeat humor. You see me wearing this mask. I'm just doing this because I felt like it. And it's kind of funny. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's just disturbing and I look like a wacko. But that's okay too. I think that's kind of fun as well. You can't take life so seriously, man. You gotta chill out. Gotta take a chill pill. And you're never gonna find wholeness if you're always in this like extreme battle. And that's how life with ADHD feels. It feels like you're in this extreme battle. So the first step that I need you to do is step out of that mindset and try to like chill out and be like, okay, maybe life could be easier. Maybe life could be more fun. Maybe I don't need to be this intense, like hyper-masculine, sculpted like a Greek sculpture type of man, you know? Maybe that's something that could exist in the future, but maybe it doesn't really quite fit your hardware, and you need to tweak it a little bit to make it yours. Quit trying to live some other person's dream life and start working with what you've got and create a dream around that, okay? It's going to save you a lot of disappointment in life and a lot of doing unproductive things, chasing the wrong things, okay? Now, the ADHD brain is motivated by dopamine. Everybody's brain is motivated by dopamine, FlowForge. What the hell? What do you mean? When you have ADHD, all the parts in your mind that are supposed to be helping you kind of do things regularly and living a functional life are kind of busted, and it sucks. But you have a higher sensitivity and need for dopamine. So what that means is that we can exploit that, and we can use that to make ourselves more productive and to make ourselves do things that we're supposed to be doing. But that is why you have to keep it fun. Keep it fun. Keep it simple. Keep it light. Life's a party. Become an absurdist. Don't hate yourself for going down a rabbit hole. Don't hate yourself for getting distracted. Don't hate yourself for all of these things that might happen. Just keep it light, enjoy things that you enjoy, and try to connect with other people. This whole like disappear for the next 3 to 6 months thing, it's not for you, okay? The way you can think about the ADHD brain versus the neurotypical brain is a neurotypical brain is sort of like a dog, okay? So I'm drawing a dog here. Yeah, that looks like a dog, I think. Perfect, look at him. Good boy. Now, the neurotypical brain is like a dog in the sense that you can train it to do something, and it might take some time, but it will start to do that thing, okay? And it will come to you when called. Its behavior is pretty expectant. Sometimes it might get a little hyper, sometimes it might not really listen to you, but for the most part, it's gonna do what you want it to do. The ADHD brain is not like a dog. It is like a cat. Gato, 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 neko, 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 nya, 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 okay? Where are my e-girls at? The ADHD brain is like a cat. It doesn't really care. It's just kind of doing its own thing. And make a distinction between you and your brain. Your personality and your ego tend to exist unrealistically outside of what you're actually capable of doing, okay? So the reason you have so much disappointment in life is, well, neurotypicals and ADHD people have this problem, and it's much worse with ADHD. You have this expectation of who you can be, and it's not in line with the reality of what your hardware is capable of. You wouldn't get mad at a Honda sedan for not being able to drag race. So why are you getting mad at your brain for not being able to stick to a routine, for example? Okay? So the neurotypical, their brain kind of does exactly what they tell it to do. For the most part, it takes some discipline. The panel's gone. The ADHD brain is kind of like a cat. It's typically busy. It doesn't really care. It might come when you call to it, but it's oftentimes distracted by a bird or like chasing a laser pointer, okay? It doesn't really care. However, one thing that dogs and cats both like that you can use to train them to get them to do things is dopamine. We love it, okay? Kitty wants more dopamine. So if you can find a way to reward yourself, which a good way to do this is to just celebrate your wins, stop being so disciplined and locked in, okay? And just celebrate your wins. And if you do that, and if you reward yourself for doing a good job, you will make the connection, and the cat might be more willing to enter a flow that is useful for you, okay? Okay, Floor Forge, I get it now. I need to chill out. I need to take a step back and reevaluate my life from the perspective of having ADHD. What can I expect and how do I manage this? Help me out here. What you can expect is you're going to be forgetful. You're going to forget very important dates. And obviously that's not going to fly in society. So what you need to do is you need to become very acquainted with the calendar or the reminders system. And you may have already tried reminders and maybe they didn't work or something, I don't know, but I'm going to give you the system that works for me, and you're just going to have to spend a little money, okay? In the same way that people who need a wheelchair have to spend money on a wheelchair and the maintenance to maintain the wheelchair, you have a need for accessibility, okay? And you're gonna have to spend money on it. It's just what we have to deal with. Quit lying to yourself, telling you you're a normal person. You need the tools and systems in place that are going to work for you so that you can actually outperform others. You need to cover for your weaknesses and learn your strengths and hit them harder, okay? That way, You're not going to be bogged down by your weaknesses, and the things that you are better at, you're going to excel at. And I need you to not feel bad about this, because everybody has their own personal weaknesses. Everybody has their own ups and downs. So the fact that you have some hardwired into you, it doesn't matter, okay? It really doesn't matter. Like, people are already naturally like that, and people are already genetically like that. So you need to just see this as another genetic quirk that changes how you have to live, okay? If somebody has a predisposition for obesity, they have to watch what they eat very carefully. That's just how they have to live, right? It's not really, you can't really consider that a disability until it becomes crippling. And if your ADHD is crippling, then you need to learn how to manage it, and you need accessibility, okay? So you need to become acquainted with the calendar, and you need some external motivation. How can we do this? How can we get this when we're just one person? Use Alexa. And I just drew a circle because the Alexa dot literally is just a circle, okay? Here, I'll tell you what, it's got some buttons on it. But, and you're going to pair this with Gemini and Google Calendars. That is what you're going to do. The workflow is this. You go to Gemini. You say, Gemini, connect with my Google Calendar. He's going to send you a link, and you're going to connect to your Google Calendar. Then you're going to hook up Alexa to your Google Calendar as well, okay? So make sure Alexa and Gemini are both hooked up to your Google Calendar. What this will allow you to do is to make entries onto your calendar with Gemini, and will allow Alexa to remind you verbally. Another thing you can do is you can get a calendar widget on your phone and make it the only thing that exists on your home screen. So whenever you open your phone, the first thing you see, and pretty much the only thing you see, is what's coming up next, because you have something called time blindness. It's a symptom of ADHD. It means that it's very, very hard for your brain to grasp what is going on with time. Your hardware is not built for it, okay? Your internal ticker is kind of weird. On top of that, your circadian rhythm is a little faster than other people's, which means that it's completely normal for you to wake up at a later time and go to sleep at a later time. So quit trying to force yourself to wake up super early if that's not you, okay? On top of that, everybody has different energy levels. So for me personally, I'm a night owl. That's what we call this. Some people are morning people. You can have ADHD and be a morning person, but because of the circadian rhythm thing, your peak productivity hour might be at, let's say, 10, 11, 12 a.m., okay? But if you're like me, my peak productivity is at night. I'm a night owl, which means that my most productive time throughout the day is midnight. I don't know why. It's just, that's the most productive. About 1 a.m. is when I kind of start to get burnt out and sleepy, and by 2 a.m. is usually when I go to sleep, and I wake up at 10 a.m. So that's the schedule that works for me. That's what keeps me productive, which is ultimately what's going to make you more fulfilled and happy, okay? So don't try to min-max your sleep super hard. The reason you may be having sleeping issues is because you just need to go to bed later and wake up later, and your body will be happy. But when you're using the calendar, I need you to understand this. The only thing you want to use it for is reminders. You want to put reminders for XYZ, important things you have to do. Schedule things that you know you're going to forget, and you're going to forget. Do not ever believe the lie that you will remember. It is a lie. Don't believe it. That is your first step on how to survive ADHD. Set reminders for everything, and you might want to schedule some time blocking, but do not, I repeat, do not use your calendar to bully your future self. The one thing that you can expect is that your brain is going to go off task, that you're going to not do what you should be doing, and that you're not really going to do whatever you want to do, because it's just, we have ADHD, it's hard to manage, okay? So you can expect for this to happen, and if you stick around and watch my channel and watch my videos, I'm going to teach you how to get back on track. I'm going to teach you how to make less of this so that you can live happier and more productive life, okay? So stick around for more tips. Or hire me as a mentor. It's $50 per session, and if you want to take it further and learn Linux for productivity, I can help you do that as well. Another thing you're going to run into is your mind refreshing. It just like drops things that you needed, and it's like, oh, where did it go? And so what's going to help with this? What's actually going to help you stay on task, which give me one moment. We're back. What's going to help you actually stay on task is this simple system. And there's another tip for you with ADHD. Keep everything extremely simple. Extremely simple. Minimal is your friend. You need a subtractive mindset, not an additive mindset. Subtractive is better than additive. You are trying to carve out the person you want to be. You're trying to find the signal in the noise. And there's a lot of noise out there. And all the ideas and business ideas you have are probably noise, okay? One of them is signal. I guarantee that one of them is signal, but most of them are noise. But this simple solution will help you stay far more productive. You'll get a lot more done, and you're just not going to be annoyed working with some productivity software that's actually a distraction in disguise, okay? So what you're going to want to do is make a text file, okay? And you can name it whatever you want. I call mine the plan. And in this file, and my recommendation is that you use Notepad++. And the reason I recommend it is because if you close it, but you needed the information in it, Notepad++ will keep that tab open, which means that you can come back to it and you can get the info from it if you just like restart it or shut down your computer. Okay? So you have a little bit of safety net there. So I would use Notepad++. Another nice thing about Notepad++ is you can erase it if you want to have fun. And if you're on Linux, use Kate. What you're going to want to do is identify the 3 things that are going to move the needle the most today. Not the 3 things you want to do, the 3 things that are going to move the needle the most today. And you put those there. And honestly, it doesn't need to be the 3 things that are going to move the needle the most. What you can do is like make 2 and then make the other one something that's kind of side questy. Like if you want to do that, that's fine too. I find that's a bit more balanced and helps you actually get some of those like menial tasks that need to be done throughout the day actually done. So sometimes my needle mover is like sending some emails, making some content, and then maybe I'll have do outreach in there if I know I can do more. And then this one would be like clean the stove or something. This dead simple system has kept me from going insane, and it will keep you from going insane as well. And you're actually likely to use it because of how simple it is, okay? And that's the thing. Every little tiny step of like clicking or opening a new page or having to sync something up or click through tabs and navigate and find something, this is all friction. It's friction. And the ADHD brain does not like friction. So you need to eliminate as much of this as possible. The reason this works is because there's almost no friction. It's you search up Notepad++, you open it, and you start typing. And that's it. It's done. What you can also do in this is that you can write down things you need to remember, or you can write down a kind of like daily, like as you're working, like, oh, something popped in my head, I need to do this. And then it's like, okay, write that down and put it in Gemini, right? Or write it down so that I can put it into Gemini later, so I'm not going to forget. Basically, this is supposed to be flexible, and you're supposed to use it in a way where you are allowed to change the plan, okay? And you're allowed, but the idea is you're getting the plan outside of your head so that you can see it. You can also put important information that you're copying and pasting in this document, which is very helpful, especially if you're doing something where you need to like build email lists or email people or something like that. Okay? That helps a lot. And when you're done with this list, maybe you take the important parts and port them into Obsidian, which, again, keep Obsidian dead simple. It's not supposed to be your second brain. Don't do that. Just make it a place where you organize important things that you might forget. Okay? I use mine to make cheat sheets for myself as a way to make the things that I learn a little bit more sticky, and so I can go back and I just know exactly the process that I did in order to do something before, and I don't have to think about it again, and there's no friction. I can just come back to it, and I have this standard operating procedure, and I'm like, oh, that's how I did that, and then I can go and do it again. Reproducibility, okay? And I do like Obsidian. Obsidian's pretty good. You might want to download it. Let me know in the comments if you want me to teach you how to use Obsidian in a ADHD-friendly way. I can show you my setup and I can give you some ideas. But this text document, once you're done with it, if you want to, you can log it, but honestly, I just burn it. I just delete it when I'm done with it, and it's whatever, and it's fine. And it's okay to just let them pile up in the tab editor too, and then just close them all one day. It's fine as well. Whatever works for you, okay, bud? It's your productivity system. Productivity is a personal thing. Now, and that's my other tip, is ADHD comes in different flavors. So you need to figure out what flavor of ADHD you have. For me personally, I get overstimulated very easily. I'm sort of more on the hypersensitive side, which means that a lot of information will overload my brain. I have like very little tolerance for technical debt, and things need to be very, very minimal in order for me to not be overstimulated. And if you're watching this, there's a good chance that you're overstimulated and don't even realize it. That you just have a ton of stress and backlog built up in your head, and you need to do a brain dump to get it out, or you need to just pace around and just like talk into the void to get this stuff out of your head, okay? Which another tip for that, what works for me, is taking another text document and just writing a bunch of crap in it. Literally anything that comes to mind. Just spit it all out, get it out of my head, mash the keyboard, it's whatever. And do that until my brain is done, okay? That helps with the overstimulation. It gets information out of your head that is piling up in your cache. You need to clear your cache. You're gonna have to explain to other people what ADHD is. Like, now that you kind of understand that this affects your life very seriously, it's very serious. It affects your life in a lot of different ways. You need to be able to tell neurotypicals why XYZ didn't happen without making an excuse. Or you need to be able to explain to neurotypicals who expect things out of you up front that you have ADHD and you need a way to explain it to them so that they understand. And the best analogy that I'm going to give you a few analogies, okay? Analogy number one is that having ADHD is like having a car that every day you wake up, 2 random parts are missing. And sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's just the door handle and the light that's up on the top. I don't know what you call that. Other days, it's the entire engine, okay? There are certain days that just work and certain days that just don't, and your brain is kind of constantly firing in all these weird ways and unpredictable ways. It's very unpredictable, okay? So you need to explain that to somebody, and you need to tell them, hey, like, if you expect me to do something with a lot of steps in the process, I might forget the steps in the process constantly, and I might get distracted constantly because your brain is not built for task switching. It's much, much, much harder for you to task switch. Your focus is binary, so you need to communicate with that to neurotypicals, like, hey, if you put me in a very complex situation where I need to remember a lot of things, I'm going to let you down. You need to give me something that I can just hyper-focus on that also isn't going to bore me out of my mind. Like, let me listen to music while I'm doing it, or something, okay? Because it's actually, I remember I was working a manufacturing job. In hindsight, it was kind of dangerous, the fact that they didn't allow any accommodations for ADHD. but most institutions and most places will allow for accommodations. But I was so bored out of my mind pressing this green button on an assembly line every day that I would walk away from the machine. I would be constantly like stimming. I'd be taking a metal bar and like whacking things because I was so bored. I'd try and turn it into a game, but then get bored and like wander around and like miss the cans getting crushed and stuff. And it just wasn't good for anybody. So here's my next tip. Use Brain FM. Brain FM uses a technology called neural phase locking, and it is proven to help people focus, especially with ADHD. And the reason why is because it stimulates, remember, ADHD wants more stimulation, wants more dopamine. And when you have ADHD, your brain, like certain parts of your brain are just kind of like shutting down. It's like the signal that's telling them like, hey, be awake, be on, is not really, it's kind of fuzzy, okay? So Brain FM stimulates those parts of your brains which can help you actually have focus. So buy Brain FM. It's one of the accessibility tools you need to add it to your life. Look it up, buy it. Make the subscription, sacrifice whatever you need to actually buy that because it's so important. And what I'll do is I'll walk around with noise canceling headphones and I'll just have Brain FM on when I'm just trying to like be able to think. Okay, because otherwise I'll get distracted and I'll get side quested and I'll forget what I'm doing. One final tip, if you're constantly losing things, just put air tags on them, like the tracker things that you can find with your phone, and put one on your phone and then make sure that you can also find it from your desktop using like Samsung Find or whatever Apple has or something. And another thing that you can do is you can attach high visibility lanyards to everything so that you, if you need to, you can wear all these lanyards so you're not going to lose something and you can just put them under your shirt. People don't see it, it's fine. But you make them like multicolored and high visibility so that if you're like, where do I put it? Oh my gosh, this high visibility lanyard might be like sticking out from wherever you just threw your phone somewhere or wherever you threw your keys somewhere. And it's like, you just shine a light around and it's like, there it is, okay? Because you're gonna lose things a lot and you're gonna lose important things. I actually got fired from my last job because I lost the keys to open the store and nobody was there to, I called everybody and nobody could open the store for me. So that's something that happens all the time with ADHD, and it's scary, okay? Ask people for accommodations and make sure you create your own. And these are your options. I just gave you a few systems. The text file, the headphones with Brain FM, noise canceling, so you're not overstimulated. Make sure you're not trying to multitask. High visibility lanyards, as well as the Gemini, Alexa, Google Calendars workflow. If you can get these things down and if you can implement them into your life is going to be a hell of a lot easier, okay? And when that happens, don't take on more things. Come back to my videos, and I will teach you what to do next. That's all I've got for you guys. Stay blessed. Have a good day. This ADHD thing is kind of difficult, but it's also kind of fun. And you're going to learn about a lot of strengths that you have as well. We kind of just covered the downsides, but there are upsides as well. And I'll make videos about them in the future. That's all. I'll see you next time.